This is the English Literature Web YouTube channel. I am Professor L.B.Gayakawad is teaching the topic film study. It means we are here to discuss on the analytical study. When we see the topic of the film, then the analytical study of the film becomes very essential, and that's why today we are having the study on the analysis of the film. Films are like the short story and novel. Remember, the films, when are made by the filmmaker or filmmakers, these films are called like the short stories and novels. Why? Because these films are telling us the story. And here the short stories and the novels also tell the stories. The short story is written and the novel is written. And the short story is there, and that story is translated into the film, and the novel is translated into the film. And that's why we can say here that the films are like the short story and novel, because they tell the stories. Remember here, the short story tells the story, the novel tells the story, and the film also tells the story. And that's why here we can say that the film and the short stories and the novel are same, means there is no difference between them. Both include the genres of romanticism, historical, detective, thriller, adventure, horror, and science fiction. So here the point of the discussion is that the films and the literature are the particular things which are included with the genres of romanticism. Here in the film also there is the romanticism, in the short story also there is the romanticism, and in the novel also there is the romanticism. Then there is the historical background, means in the short story, in the novel, the writer writes the historical background, and in the same way in the film also there is the historical background, because there are many films which are based on the historical background. Then there are the detective backgrounds, means in the short story or suppose in the novel there is the detective picture, means the novels and the short stories are written on the picturization or on the basis of, I will say, which is there the detective basis. Then thriller is there. Thriller means there is the particular tension is there, all the particular thrill, that is, I will say, the fear is there, a lot of fear is there, that is called the thriller background. And such background is available in the short story as well as in the novel, and in the same way it is available in the film. Then in the short story and in the novel, the description of the adventure, means the main hero or the heroine are adventurous there in the short story or in the novel. In the same way in the film also the characters are adventurous, and that's why there is the similarity between the literature and the film, I will say, because the short story and the novel are the genres of the literature, and the film is made of the short story, novel, as well as the drama also. Then there is the horror in the short story, there is the horror in the novel also, and there is also the horror in the film. And that's why here we can say that the film and the literature are same. Then there is the scientific background, or there is the scientific description in the story as well as in the novel, because if the writer is interested in the scientific points or in the scientific discoveries, then he can write the scientific short stories or the novels. And that's why there are the uh, descriptions of the science there in the novels and in the short stories. In the same way, the films also show the descriptions or the communications of science or the experiments of science, because the films are made on the preparation of the short stories and the novel. And that's why here we can say that these genres called romanticism, historical, detective, thriller, adventurous, and horror, and scientific approach, all these genres are available in the film also and in the literature also. Film also shows the subgroups. Remember, when we think of the film, then there uh, come the subgroups, and the subgroups are there: the actions, comedy, tragedy, westerns, and wars. Means when we think of the film, there are the subgroups means, I will say, we can call it also the genres. And these genres are, suppose, actions means the main hero makes their action, and with the actions he shows his adventures. And then there is the comedy, means the characters are comic and there is the comedy in the film. And so many films are made on the basis of the comic background. A tragedy is there, means suppose there is some death, or there is some tension, or suppose there is the particular unhappy things happen in the life of the characters, and that's why the tragedy is also there in the film. And then westerns are there. Remember, the films have been influenced by the western culture, and that's why there is the westerns also. And as well as I will say that there is the picturization or description of the wars also. Films are multimedia, means the films is the particular thing, and that film is called the multimedia or multimedial matter, I will say, or identity, I will say, because the film is such in which we can show a lot of things, because it is the photography or it is the painting, and that's why everything can be shown by the film. And that's why the film is called the multimedial thing or object. The films are visual media made for viewers. Remember, the viewers are there, the lookers are there, the audience are there, and for these audience or for these viewers, these films are made, because these films are visual. Visual means these films we can see. In the novel, we can read. The short story, we can read. The drama, we can see on the stage. In the same way, here, I will say that the films are seen, the films are observed, watched out, and that's why these films are called the visual media or media which is made for viewers. Viewers means it is made for the lookers, and they catch our senses for creating the social awareness, feelings, or exposure to emotions. Remember, when we see all these films sitting in our home or suppose in the theater, then when we are there in front of the film, or the film is in front of us, all these films catch our senses. Means we are packed by the film, because that film catches us from our heart, from our mind, from our brain. It means everything is caught by the film. Means all the senses which are there in our body are packed by the film, and that's why here it is said that the film catches our senses. And through this catchment, I will say, this film makes the social awareness, because through our characters, or through our appearance, there is the attempt of the writer or the filmmaker, that these viewers will do the social awareness, or will spread the social awareness in the society. And in this way, this film spreads the social awareness. And then there is the point of the feeling. Means feeling, that is the emotional point, or there is the exposure to emotions or the feelings. It means that there are some characters, there are some actors who create the scenes too much nicely, and those scenes are very seriously played by them. And when they create such type of pictures before us, that pictures, or those actions are completely very true to the life of persons in the society, and that's why it becomes the exposure to the emotions and feelings of the people who are there in the theater. And when they see all these films, or suppose there is one film, and when the people see that film or that scene in the film, then they shout also, they cry also, or they weep also, or they can go into the tension also, or they can be released uh, uh, because of the situation of that film. Or it means they can remove their attention with the help of this film also. Means their feelings are washed out, or their feelings are cleared by the their by the film watching. And that's why here it is said that the film is the particular media which gives the exposure to the emotions and feelings of the people in the theater. Literature has a plot, setting, characterization, structure, and theme to tell the narrative. Literature is the particular media, I will say, through which we can understand the plot. If there is the plot, then short story is there, then the novel is there, drama is there. It means that only because of the plot the story happens. Means at first the writer takes the plot, and on that plot he builds his own story of the novel or drama, and that's why the literature has the plot. Then setting, the literature is there, and when the writer wants to write his novel, then he takes or selects or collects the particular background, and that background becomes the setting. Setting means he can take the nature as the setting, he can take the particular valley as the setting, or he can take the particular river. Means he can take the natural beauty as the setting in the novel, or suppose in his piece of literature. And that's why here we can say that the literature has the setting. Then there are the characterizations. Means there are the characters. Means man, woman, animal are the characters, or I will say cartoon is also one of the character, and that's why in the literature the characterization is there. Then structure is there, because structure means what? The literature is written, the literature is built up with the help of the structure. Means there is the beginning, then there is the middle, and then there is the end of the particular literature or particular piece of the literature. And that's why structure is there. Means it is the plot structure, or it is the plot construction. As we build a house and there is the structure of the house or the map of the house or the plot of the house, in the same way here the literature or the novel or suppose the drama as the structure, plot or construction, and on that construction the particular building of the drama or novel stands. That is the point. Then there is the theme. Means the writer writes the particular theme. Means if the writer likes the theme of love, then he writes the piece of literature that is called novel or drama on the basis of the love. Means he thinks there that without love nothing is there in the life, and that's why he writes his total piece of literature on the love theme. And all these are the narrative systems of the writer, and in this way the writer writes his pieces of literature. Here we will say, with these, the film has different techniques to explain the related narrative. Remember, the film has the different techniques to explain the relative narrative. Means the point is that the literature has the plot, setting, characterization, structure, theme. All these things are there to tell the story. But here the film has the different techniques. Means the, I will say here, the character is there. That character uses the dialogues. One character talks with the second character, and there is the scene, and that scene is uh, picturized with the photography. Means these are the different type of techniques when the film is made. And when the literature is made, there are the plot, setting, like this. And when the film is made, there are the different techniques. Means again we can say that there is the technique of the nature beauty, there is the technique of the painting, there is the technique of the photography, then there is the technique of the various characters, or there is the technique of the great and great setting, the setting of total sky is there, everything is there, or this technique is totally visual. Means the filmmaker can show all these with the help of the photography. Means it is the true picture. We can say the film shows the true picture of the particular object there. In the film, there is the attention which is paid to sound. Means here the film is very much important thing, and that's why the filmmaker or the director gives there the attention to the particular sound. Because if the sound is not there, then the audience or the lookers, or I will say the particular people, will not watch out those films. And that's why here the sound is very much important when the film is made. Music is very interesting thing in the film, because that music makes the uh, songs, that music there makes the creation of happiness when the characters are talking. Means all this music makes that film very audible, and that's why music is important there. Then lighting is there very important. Because of that lighting, the director or the filmmaker can show those characters very nicely, because the lighting is focused on the characters or persons or women or the animals, or I will say the cartoons, and with the help of that lighting the film is made. Then camera is there, that is the camera, and the angles of camera, I will say, are very much different. It means that the angle of camera is near angle, or it is the distant angle, or it is the middle angle, I will say. Means there are the different type of angles are used there to picturize the particular film. And editing is there, means the film is edited. If that film is not edited again and again, then that film will not be interesting for the lookers or for the audience. And that's why here I will say that the editing is also very important to make the film. And all these are the elements, or all these are the techniques of narrating the particular film. Means the characters or the directors or the filmmakers can make their film with the help of these elements or these techniques, which are called the techniques of narrating the particular dialogues, and in this way the film is made through these dialogues. All these techniques are used to make a good film. Remember, all these techniques which just we discussed above are the best techniques, and with the help of these best techniques the good film is created by the filmmaker. So here today we have seen the topic, the analytical study of the film. In the next time we will see the next topic again. Till then, thank you very much.